Today's video, we're going to talk about personalized landing pages and why they will boost your conversions generally 2 to 5x compared to the conversion rate that you're getting now to your landing page that you're using now with your existing traffic, okay? This is not puffery, or I'm not fluffing this information up. This is literally what we're usually going to get. If I come into an account where I'm working with a new client, they're using one landing page for all their traffic, or practically speaking, that's what they're using. This is the kind of increase in conversions I'm going to get automatically with even a little bit of personalization. Forget about all this stuff, which I normally don't even go into every little last thing I can do here until a little bit later, because it does take a lot more work. But I'm going to tell you what all the methods are. If you want all the results, all the methods are laid out here. That is the main key things that are going to move the needle the most in terms of actual personalization of your landing pages. When I say personalization, I don't mean using software to dynamically insert crap onto your page. That's what most people are going to tell you to do. That is the way inferior way to customize and personalize a landing page for a user. Go manual. Manual landing pages that you can then send traffic from one keyword or one placement where you're running your ad to, so people get a customized, personalized experience for the user every time, because it will help the algorithm understand what's on your page. Therefore, you'll get better results with it sooner, which is why you don't use dynamically inserted keywords in your landing pages and all that. And I will go into more detail on that. But with that said, if you watch to the end of the video, I'll give you real examples of campaigns that we ran with the personalization, so you can see how much of an increase you're going to get from a real life use case. It'll help you get behind these strategies here instead of just knowing that they'll get you results. You can see where it actually did get results. You'll have everything you need by the end of the video to walk away from and actually put this into action on your account. Before I get into the content, I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, a PPC/online advertising agency that's been in business 10 years guaranteeing people's results. We're the only agency in the world that offers any kind of guarantee to their clients, that is more profit from your ads before there's management fee. The way that we're able to do that is because the key strategist at our firm, aka me, has spent 20 years doing online advertising for hundreds of clients now. Also businesses, several businesses that I currently run and own and have ran in the past. All the information that you're getting here is 20 years of experience baked into one video, if you will, as it comes to personalized landing pages. So getting into the content here, I got in a complete list of all the ways that you could personalize a landing page. You could use some of them or all of them, depending on how much results that you want, like I was mentioning before. There's a lot of stuff you can customize on the page that ain't gonna really give you much, and with the effort, it's not gonna be worth doing. These are the ones I can confirm to you are gonna move the needle. That is, not a rounding error amount of increase in conversions. You're gonna get at least 10% increase for each one of these things. And so basically, each one of these things that you're doing is just gonna stack your gains effectively. Some certainly more than others. Each one will give you a clearly measurable increase for sure. With the main ones that get the most results are going to be first off in the list. I've kind of like ordered them in terms of the impact on your results, just to let you know in advance. I will say right off the bat here that when you're talking about personalization of landing pages, this is mainly used for service companies if you're selling and promoting a service. However, it's not just necessarily for service companies though. If you broaden your horizons, you realize that the same stuff can be used for a product company or selling a product as well. A lot of people are just still, to this day, sending traffic to a product page on their website, no landing page, just for the ad traffic to go to, and that's gonna leave a bunch of profit on the table. Why? Because product pages aren't perfectly designed for somebody from Facebook or some Google ad to go to get the most results. I can promise you will generally get more results with the landing page. The problem is if you have a lot of products, it's expensive to do a lot of landing pages. On the ones that are the top sellers, it will pay you to do that, certainly. Or make your product page look like a landing page at the very least. Make it into a landing page that has all the core tenets of a landing page that makes it convert well for a Google traffic, for a Google click, if most of your traffic's coming from Google. But, product pages, the same stuff applies. When you want to customize the headline, And if somebody's looking for a 4 horsepower pottery wheel, product page on your website that says pottery wheel, and later on down in the page it says it's 4 horsepower, it's not going to convert as well as a headline that says 4 horsepower pottery wheel. Why? Because it confirms to the user right away that they're in the right place. That actually is like half of the conversion that you get, is not confusing the user and communicating quickly that you are in the perfect place, so they don't bounce and before they get to the part where they realize they're in the perfect place. So what you do with product sites or e-commerce sites is you take that product page and you make many copies of that product page so you can actually customize the headline. So you can customize the testimonial section, other things like I'm mentioning here. So don't just assume that this doesn't apply to you if you sell a product. It actually applies very much so, even though I will say for service companies, it really, really works. Okay, if you're promoting a service and you're not doing this, you're working really hard in your business to get 25% of the money that you should be getting, basically speaking. That said, because naturally, if you get a higher conversion rate, you're going to have a higher quality score on Google, relevancy score on Facebook. That's going to drop your cost per click. You're going to get higher ROI because of that. And you earn not just a higher conversion rate, but now you're paying less for the traffic. Now you're really earning. That's why you're going to make way more money, and it's worth it to do this every time. Anyway, getting into the actual content here. The first thing you want to personalize on your landing page that's going to be the most important is that headline that I just talked about earlier. Should I say all of the above. Location, I don't care if you're selling a product. If you have on your landing page and it says Houston and the user is in Houston, it's going to convert better. Why? Because they're going to get to the page and they're going to be like, oh shoot, they service Houston. Or they send to Houston. This is a very good trick. Even if we have a national service company that services the entire country and all the business is done through the phone, we'll still have different campaigns for each state so that the state name is in the ad and then the landing page. Why? Because it's going to increase the conversions double digits every single time we do that. Mainly because the competition's too lazy to do it, or they're going to be too arrogant to do it. And the user's going to be right away impressed by that. Okay, then you got your keyword, of course. If they're searching for product development services, you want the headline to say product development services. On average, we're going to get a 40% increase just having the keyword in the headline each time. If you're using a landing page tool like I use Unbounce. It's so easy to make a different landing page for each keyword that you're targeting for search campaigns. You can make one in 5 seconds. Or if you're using WordPress, you use a specialized plugin and you can do the same thing. There's logistically wise, it doesn't take that long to make a landing page for each keyword. Yes, there's more to manage once it's all set up, which is the downside, by the way, of having a manually created page for each keyword. Because if you have to later on change your hours on your landing page, you have to do it 500 times now or whatever. Which, by the way, brings me to an important point. If you really want personalization to work, you can't target 10 or 20 keywords on broad match. You shouldn't be using broad match keywords anyway if you're running search campaigns. It should be exact match or at the very most phrase match so that you could find, and on top of that, you find the 500 different variants of keywords that people use to find a dentist locally if you're a dentist, so that you can have a laser targeted ad with that keyword in the headline. And when they click on that ad, you take them to a landing page with that headline on the landing page matching the keyword, and that's going to always get you the most results. I don't care what anybody else says. If anybody else says otherwise, I challenge them to come to me directly and we'll have a contest. I'll bet them $10,000 my single keyword ad group ad and headline is going to beat them in terms of the results. People are only saying this doesn't matter when they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. They don't want to work. They want to take your money and say it's not important. The less that they do when you pay them to manage their ads, the more they make. Productive to your results that you're getting. Keyword and then product/service. Naturally, you can have, instead of a headline that matches the keyword, you could have the headline match the service or product at hand at least. For services, if you sell bathroom cleaning services and that's the keyword, you could have all the keywords that have the word bathroom in it go to a landing page that has bathroom in the headline. And it's kind of a shortcut way to do one landing page for literally every keyword, which you actually should be doing. But you can get half of the results that you're going to get customizing that headline shortcut way, if you will. So anyway, you can do it that way. I don't recommend doing it that way. The second thing you can do in terms of personalization on a landing page is hyper-localization. This is related and tied to SEO. One thing that you'll notice, people that generate leads and sell them to local service companies, is they'll have a bunch of landing pages that target individual keywords and individual cities. So that if you're looking for a garage door spring repair service in Gary, Indiana, okay, they'll have a dedicated page that just targets that exact phrase and that exact location. And then they'll have in the landing page, a thing that says Gary, Indiana was founded in 1856. And that has nothing to do with garage door spring repair, but they put that in there because it helps them rank. And they'll have a software that's able to spit out 10,000 pages, of which that scrapes Wikipedia for information about that city. And it ranks the page really well, because part of the ranking algorithm wants to know that instead of just saying that you're in that city in the headline, they want to see it multiple times on the page. The more times it's on there, the more they believe you, so to say. But also because anymore, if you have the content's too much the same landing page to landing page, it isn't going to rank very easily. Google's going to be like, oh, all these 100 pages are really, it's the same content on all of them, so we're just going to rank one. If you use software to then customize all of the content on the page each time so that literally every page is completely unique all the way through it, because you have variables in there that can be filled in by a landing page software that just spits out a bunch of landing pages, then Google will think all these pages are unique and you could rank really well, still to this day. Now, naturally, if you try to do that, by the way, and your website domain doesn't get any traffic, you're not going to rank well. However, if you've been in business for a few years and you actually have, let's say you're doing $1 million a year in business already, and then you employ that strategy, you're going to get a ton of rankings. I know, I've seen this. Because you have domain authority already. The higher your domain authority, the more having all those SEO'd landing pages like I just described, the more they're going to rank just by getting them indexed. And you can get them indexed by submitting a sitemap to Google Search Console, and then boom, you're ranking for all these obscure different cities that because the main thing is, nobody's going to have a dedicated landing page in Gary, Indiana for garage door spring repair. They're just not. So you're the only one. Of course you're going to rank first for that term. At least if the page is unique enough for Google to trick Google into thinking it's actually unique. As it comes to landing page personalization, that's one way. I just wanted to mention it because that's tied in with it, even though it has nothing to do with ads. And ads is what I primarily talk about on this channel. Then you got the customization of the hero image. So normally, we've tested thousands of landing pages now in the last 10 years of running this firm. With that, I found the general formula on a landing page that works typically most of the time. For service specifically, let's say here's your landing page. You got headline, subheadline, call to action, and then over here on the right-hand side, you got what they call a hero image. And this, like if it's a broken toilet repair service, you show somebody fixing a guy fixing a broken toilet. Or if this is supposed to be a crime scene cleanup service, you show somebody cleaning up a crime scene. Why? Because when they hit the page, going back to that concept I was talking about before, the first thing they want to know immediately is, am I in the right place? And when you show them a picture that's directly related to what service they're looking to get, that is, the person they're visualizing in their head that's going to show up to their place to do this service is right there in front of them, you're going to get a higher conversion rate. For a product company, by the way, up at the top of the page, you generally show the product itself, but we're finding recently is showing the product in use to be the default image will work better. Why? Because people envision using this product for a certain thing. When they can see that product being used for that thing, they're like, oh, wow, that product is now for me. Just as a small side tip. Anyway, you take what we'll often do at our firm is we'll make a landing page for each keyword, like I was talking about before, that you should definitely do, because that'll get you a 40% increase in conversion rate standard, at least 95% of the time. There's some niches where the keyword matching the headline doesn't deliver an increase in conversion, but it's rare. We'll just say almost always is it going to do that. But as far as that hero image, so once we make a landing page for each keyword, we'll take the hero image and make sure the hero image matches the keyword as well. So that, going back to the crime scene cleanup company example, if it's a suicide cleanup, you want the image to look like something to do with suicide. If it's, related to homicide, you want an image related to homicide. So you can't do a unique image for each keyword, but you take all your keywords and then you group them. You find all these keywords generally have 20 themes. Okay, so let's create 20 hero images for each of the 20 themes. So not only is the headline going to be customized, but the hero image is going to be close to that keyword as well. And that'll help you increase conversions almost every time as well, 95+% of the time. And you're going to get another extra 30, 40, 50% higher conversion rate by having the hero image match whatever it is that the user was initially searching for. Okay? And going to the product example again, if somebody's looking to use like a water filter to filter, let's say pond water, that product image showing somebody filtering pond water, and you'll get higher conversion rates. So versus if they're trying to filter pool water, show somebody filtering pool water with that same product, you get a higher conversion rate. Yes, I know what you're saying. You're rolling your eyes and you're saying, I don't have time for this, because normally you start explaining this stuff to a client at our firm and their eyes glaze over. If it were easy, everybody would do it and there'd be no opportunity. The people who are going to make the most money in your industry are going to be putting the most detail in their marketing, period. And the more money that's at stake, the more money you can make, the more it's going to take, because more people are willing to invest more when the prize is overall bigger. So all you got to do is look at your competition and see what they are able to do. You got to have a trained eye to know what's good or what's bad, but then you got to do more, okay? I'm telling you here how to get more. If your competition does none of this stuff, employ it, you have your edge, practically speaking already. So there's that. Then you can also customize the subservice list. So on a landing page, usually we got the top part of the page like I talked about. Then we'll show visuals in like a grid pattern. If it's a plumbing company, right, and somebody's looking for drain opening services, we'll have like bathtub drain repair, kitchen drain repair, sewer drain repair. Basically with the idea being that they see we're a specialist in drain repair versus just a plumbing company who's pretending like we are a specialist in drain repair. That kind of like proves it to them. You don't want people to draw any conclusions for themselves, because that'll always hurt your conversion rate, and you want to make it obvious, and they want them to make up their mind that you actually are the specialist through showing them proof that you are the specialist, of course, as well. So you got that. You also got use case customization. So this is kind of tied to the services, but like let's say you sell a product, going back to the water filter product, okay? The water filter product can be used for a lot of different things. It could be filter pond water, filter fluoride out of water. It could be used to filter out heavy metals. You, of course, would have a part of the landing page that describes all that, because that's going to increase conversions, right? If your keyword that people are typing in to get to this page is pond water filter, then of course you want your use case list to talk about filters scum out of pond water. It filters dirt out of pond water, right? Because that's going to increase your conversion rate every time as well. Use cases are kind of like tied to products more so versus the list of sub-services that you offer within that general service category that the user was initially interested in. Just it's kind of a different way to go about doing it. If it were a service though, it could also apply, because if you were going back to the cleaning company example, if somebody was looking for kitchen cleaning company, you could say it's kitchen cleaning company, and then you could say cleaning sinks, walls, backsplashes, whatever, in terms of the list of services that you do in the kitchen cleaning category. Then you could say removes grime from sink every time, removes any grease from the sinks while we do it. So you're actually just getting a little bit more into detail on each one of these subservices. Your goal is to then cover all the main use cases. So when somebody gets to the bottom of the middle of the page, which they're only going there if they have a question as to can you actually do what they need, it's all listed there for them. You can't obviously cater to everybody, but 80% of people that go through your page should be able to see something that remedies whether or not for them you do what you needed to do, or what this product does what they needed to do. That product can help you lose weight fast, or it's not going to make you hungry, or whatever. That's how you get good at landing pages and making them convert at the highest rate possible. And as it comes to personalization, you use the clue about what they were searching originally to customize that use case list. Naturally, this gets hard to do when you're running display ads, because there's only so much you know about somebody when you run display ads. However, it doesn't just apply to search engine ads, because even when you run display campaigns, let's say you're running a banner ad campaign on the Google Display Network, you can actually tell and sub-segment your campaign. So you could have one campaign targeting these websites with your banner ad for just the males, another for just the females. Then naturally, that diet product, that same diet product, you could have a picture of a girl on the page, losing weight versus a guy losing weight, and you get a significant increase in conversion rate. So that's another way to add personalization to your landing page strategy. Or you do it for somebody, we already talked about on a geographic level or location level, if you will, but you could do this on an age level. If it's somebody that's over 65, of course you want to show somebody old. That's going to make the conversion rate go up. So that's another way to do it. It's just each one of these individual things that you add to your overall system is going to add complexity. There's more landing pages to manage, but your conversion rate's going to go up. And what I'm telling you here is the conversion rates go up so much when you do this stuff. Yes, to pay somebody to administer and manage all these landing pages when you're done is worth it, because if you can convert twice as good as what you did before because you added these extra levels of personalization to your landing page, you know how much quicker you're going to get to millions a year? It's going to be 3 times as fast as what you had before. Instead of taking 7 years to make $1 million a year, what you're doing, it's going to take, it's like having a time machine at the end of the day. So those are a couple of examples of what you can do there for personalization on your landing pages. You also can do testimonials, okay? Before I go into that one, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you absolutely should already, because all the information I'm giving you here, I go into further detail on all these different points on this channel, and I tell you how to set up your ads to get the most results out of them as well. The best information you're going to find out about legitimately how to make millions of dollars a year running ads for your business is on this channel, because it's coming from somebody with 20 years of experience doing ads and spends 40 hours a week actively doing nothing but ad testing. So if you want to really know what works, you want to subscribe to this channel already. You also want to check out my blog if you like the channel. I got a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. My blog has personal strategies that we're using to guarantee results for our clients there, with the step-by-step instructions, with the screenshots, everything you need to execute these. Most of the people who check out my blog that like the channel already like the blog as well. And of course, you can always ask a question down in the comment section if you have a one-off about anything I'm talking about here. I'm more than happy to answer your questions, or any ad or marketing related question that you have. I'm more than happy to answer or put you on the right track with what you're doing just as a way of giving back and saying thank you for helping the channel grow. With that said, going back to the last one here on the testimonial side of things, you don't realize how much it matters that those testimonials are relevant to what the user's needs are. If somebody is looking for, because a lot of services aren't very all-encompassing. In the crime scene cleanup space, like we were talking about before, those companies usually do crime scene cleanup, like if somebody blows their head off and there's blood all over the wall, they come in, somebody has to clean that up. And there's specialized companies that just do that. Or somebody dies and their body's rotten and their cat's been eating them for the last 7 days and somebody's got to clean that up. Which really happens, by the way, which is why you should really love having your cats. But with that said, okay, you got those companies, because there's not very much business to be done, they also do hoarding cleanup. So, everybody knows what a hoarder is. They can't throw stuff away. The shit accumulates in their house, then it starts to rot and whatnot. And then eventually somebody's got to clean that out, whether when the person dies or whatever. Because most of the time those jobs are linked to when someone dies, usually most of those companies that do crime scene cleanup do the hoarding cleanup. But the testimonials on your page, if you're just using a testimonial section for the hoarding traffic leads, you're going to lose an extra 20% of your conversion rate just because you've done that. Yes, it's hard to get enough testimonials to have custom testimonials for every single service you offer, but that should be eventually your end goal. You want your landing page testimonials to match the service that they're looking for, because you'll get an extra free 20% or even more, we've seen sometimes, conversion rate by having that. Which, by the way, written testimonials are okay. Much better are video testimonials anymore, because people believe them a lot more, even if you have to really beg or bribe some of your customers to even give them, because they get believed at 2 or 3 times the rate as written testimonials. And at the very least with written testimonials, you got to have a headshot and a real name, or people ain't buying or believe in anything there, relatively speaking. For the most part, it's better than nothing to have a text testimonial with no image, but it's not going to give you much anymore anyway. But anyway, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You eventually, once you get like 100 testimonials, then you want to go back to all your landing pages and customize the testimonial section you have on your landing page, which you should absolutely have, so that you've got the 6 related to this particular service that this landing page covers on that landing page. So you'll come back to it later for extra results. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, what this is basically, this may seem overwhelming to you, but you don't have to do it all at once. You can start with the simple stuff that has the big impact, make money. Okay, what else can we do to make money? Okay, well, let's add this one. Okay, now what else can we do to make money? Let's add this one. This is something that you can do to keep walking up your results. For me, if you have enough money on deck where you don't have to get super cheap about what you're doing up front and have to make money before you can really do more, do all of these right away, because you're going to make the most instantly. So you don't have to wait around for forever to get all the results you're supposed to get. You'll get them right away. For everybody else that needs to be able to make some money now or nothing, well, then start with the headline customization and that's it. And I usually would do headline customization and your hero image customization right away, and then do the rest of the stuff later, because it has the biggest impact. That's going to be half or more of your results right there. So, but that pretty much spells it out for you. Now, if you want somebody to just do all this tedious work for you, this is exactly what our firm is set up for at our agency. And this is how we guarantee results for our clients, because we know users fundamentally want to see a headline that matches their keyword. If we do it and your competition doesn't do it, we're going to get results. There is no, we might not get paid. We may not get paid by this client, because it's going to get results. It's just a matter of if you're going to do it or not. And a lot of people just don't want to do it, and they'd rather pay someone to do it, and that's what we're for. If you want somebody to help you out do it, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. We'll do a lot more stuff for you than just this, obviously, but this is just one way to get results that if you aren't doing the stuff that you can get results with today, we actually give our clients a projection on the results we could get over time, over 8 quarters, with the guarantee tied to it to get you to a certain point up front before management fees are paid. If you want that, reach out to me. I give a free consultation at our firm. We also sell ad templates, by the way, which are basically, if we've worked in your niche space before, like crime scene cleanup, like I talked about in this video, we'll give you all the campaigns, ads, landing pages, all of it. Copy paste that into your account and you'll get the results that we've got optimizing ads in that space for years already, and having spent millions of dollars of ad spend to figure out how to get to those results. We can tell you the cost per lead you're going to get with it up front, and it's turnkey results, or turnkey money, if you will. We've worked in over 100 niche markets, so the chances are high. We've already got a template that's already worked out for you. And these templates are so efficient after working on them for years, like I mentioned, and many of the times we have already, then you could start a whole business just around just having that template. If you want to sell printer toner in a country that you're in that's not where our client is in, turn on the printer toner campaign that we have, get the printer toner for China, you got a turnkey business. That's just one example. If you don't know anything about e-commerce, the easiest way to start an e-commerce business is around the template that will sell that item successfully. You don't even have to know if it will work or not. You know it works before you even start up the damn business. We've got people selling leads using the templates we have to other businesses, which is a great passive income business once it's going. But anyway, if you're interested in any of those other opportunities, you can let me know. But to go into the actual results, I told you if you stayed to the end of the video earlier on that I would give you actually a case study or two as to how much this stuff actually works. I'll stick with the crime scene cleanup company to begin with. Client had a company, it was a crime scene cleanup company. We came in, their starting conversion rate was around 2-3%, which is not good for people typing in like homicide cleanup services, whatever, getting into the landing page. And then when I say conversion rate we're talking click to call or click to fill out the form. Just by adding the custom headlines with the location and the keyword here, we're already able to bring this up over 10%, 10 to 15% on the conversion rate, okay? When we added in the hero image, custom hero image for each subcategory of service, like I was talking about before with like stuff related just to homicide, just related to, unattended, if somebody's been found in their place and they've died for a while, so not a suicide in other words, and have different images for different use cases there, we were able to increase the conversion rate from 10-15% to 15-20% already. Then, when we talked about customizing the use cases, we brought that up from 15 to 20 to 20 plus. And when we added in the custom testimonials, we're over at 25+% conversion rate. So we're literally up 10 times where we started with this thing. Once we added, went down this list, like I mentioned, that you can do one step at a time here to get to the results that you need. Okay, so we also sold a mailbox product before, just tell you how this can basically work on the product side. The conversion rate on this mailbox product was under 1% when we started out, okay? Once we customized the headline, so if somebody was looking to use the mailbox for packages or whatever, Amazon packages, created a copy or clone of the product page so we can have the headline customized. We already went from about 0.5% conversion rate to about 0.8% conversion rate, just with that one little tweak, okay? Then when we added the custom hero image, which in this case, the product image, that's the default product image on the page, we had that with an Amazon package on it, just to give you an example here. We brought this from 0.8 to 1.5%, which is a huge increase in it itself, which for products, it's actually quite substantial when that default image matches the, basically what the user needs the product for. We went ahead and go further on this. All the Amazon use cases handles all package sizes, or 90% of package sizes that Amazon has. Amazon drivers know how to get this. And we already took this from a 1.5 to over 2%, which sometimes the jump you get from this is not going to be as much as the initial stuff, because very few people get down to the bottom part of the page all the way, or all the way through the page. So the stuff you put down on the page is always going to have a smaller impact on your results, if you didn't know. And then when we customized the testimonials to something to do with Amazon itself, okay, now we're closer to 3% here already. Not quite, but around 2.5 or 2.7, 2.8%, somewhere in there, which is where we're at now for the Amazon side, Amazon related keywords. Now, for a product like that, sometimes the keywords aren't very customized. We're not going to get that kind of jump. But when they are customized and you take advantage of these things to make the page personalized for that user, you get a huge jump. You go from, where you're at to a 5x jump in conversion rate because you took advantage of what you knew about that user before they get to the page, okay? We've done, I mentioned the diet product example. The reason why I brought that up is because we were doing exactly what I was saying, where the diet product landing page had a young woman if we knew the user was a young user. It was an old woman if we knew the woman was old in terms of the model on that landing page. And same thing if it's a guy. If it's a guy that's on that landing page, we put a young guy if it's a young guy, old guy if it's an old guy, and started doing that. And that dramatically increased conversion rate. We're talking over double itself as well. This stuff works a lot. It's a pain in the butt to set up, and it's easy to kind of get it screwed up because you end up having a lot of campaigns, a lot of landing pages. Start out doing it right. You have a good system for running these landing pages that's sectioned off from the rest of the site, which is why I like using Unbounce, because we can have a separate firewalled off page where all the landing pages exist. And then you have campaigns that are all named appropriately, such as Diet Product 1 Female, Diet Product 1 Male, Diet Product 1 Female 65 plus. And you name your campaigns appropriately, it can be managed very well and very easily. You just have to plan it out well before you start. All battles are majorly won based upon your preparation. The better you map it all out and plan it out before you go ahead and do it, the better off you'll be when it's done. Because once you create it, and then you have to go back and it's going to end up being a rat's nest. The average person's ad account that I go into audit anymore is a rat's nest because people go in there, they make stuff. Later on, somebody comes make something else. Then somebody else comes in and makes something else. It just ends up being a mess. What you want to end up doing is have one person structure the whole thing so that it's going to be clean, just like you were wiring a house. Of course, you can't just be winging this stuff. You have to know before you even start how the damn thing is going to end up. Then you're going to have something that's nice and easily managed when it's done. And only then. So anyway, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Remember when I said landing page was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.